What are modules? Throughout the tutorials, we've learned how to organize and group things so that it would be more convenient for programmers. Now, we'll learn the ultimate way of keeping our code short, sweet, and readable. Modules. Coding can get super messy, especially if, let's say, you have created an app or a website that is simply overflowing with functions, classes, and pretty much everything we've learned so far. That's why it's necessary to neatly divide your code into shorter files that will be much easier to understand in the long run. A module is a Python object containing many different attributes. There are many different kinds of modules, each with Python codes that we can reuse. So how do we create a module? Let's start by using the open function. It's the same function we used when we discussed files. This time, however, our file name will be saved as .py instead of .txt. Let's say we created a calculator app. The file for our calculator program should include the arithmetic operators that we've learned about. So, we have addition and subtraction and the modulo and floor division operators. Sure, we can dump all of our data into one big file, but can you imagine how confusing it will be? Another advantage of dividing your code into modules is that it will be much easier to reuse, since they are already categorized. It's probably going to be tough to filter through codes you've used before in your giant Python file. Modules can minimize our lines of code. Alright, so let's say that we're still working on that calculator app. Unlike any run-of-the-mill calculator, our app opens by greeting the users. To incorporate this module to our program, we'll use the import keyword. Let's import the module and use the greeting function. Let's say my name is Stacy. Let's try using a class this time. Let's say we already got some information from our users. Now we'll print a message for two of our active users, Priya and May. We'll do this by importing Module 1. You can create an alias when you import a module. This can be done by using the as keyword. For example, you want to change the name of Module 1 to M1. When you call the module name, you'll use M1 instead of Module 1. Now, it's time to work on our other functions. Let's define some basic mathematical functions we can use for our calculator app. We'll write them down on Module 1 and run our code again. It's best to keep our functions general so they can be used again in case we have a similar project. When we define functions, we also use the return statement. This sends the function's results back to the caller. We need to import our new functions in Module 1 to our project. Another way to import modules is to use the from keyword. We'll also use import and asterisk to get all the data from our module. Now, what if you don't need all the data from the module? If you only need a single function from your module, you can also use the from keyword. Let's say we only need the get_diff function. And that's all for this video. In this video, we discussed creating a Python module, the import keyword, the as keyword, the return statement, and the from keyword.